On the outskirts of Nairobi, high above a neat row of residential houses, rises the new Daystar building. It is surely an impressive sight. A stone throw away, dwarfed by the giant new building, is a new version of the house where it all started. It was also home to the founders of Daystar University, Dr. Smith and Mrs. Smith. The original buildings, though altered and expanded over the years, retain most of their original residential look.
We first came to Africa in 1952. We were reassigned to develop a publishing house in Johannesburg.
Those 8 years, there were 38 missionaries who were killed. And it was not a comfortable time to be there, but we continued. And God continued to help us through that. But as a consequence of the borders being closed, by this time, people have been coming from all over the world to learn from Dr. Smith. And they could not easily get there because they had to go through one of those 3 countries that was in favor with the white government. And so people began saying, oh, we don't want to send our people there. It sounds dangerous. And so one group said, how much would it cost for you to move to some other country? And then we'll help you. Because I just said we didn't get any money coming in. And so we made a study of where could it be possible for people to easily have transport to and from and good communications from other countries. And so we chose Kenya and Nairobi. And so this group, which was a Christian foundation, said, good, we will give you the money to move and to buy property. And that's how we got the property on Valley Road.
And that really was the foundation or beginning of Daystar. We lived in this building. People thought at first this whole thing was our house. No way. We lived in one room, which was my office during the day, and at night it was our bedroom. We called it the Institute for International Christian Communication. And the initial courses basically led to the book Creating Understanding.
And the name Daystar came from the Bible. It is one of the words of Jesus, or names of Jesus, one of the words used. And so our colleague, he's doctor now, Dr. Pego, thought of that name. Perhaps you don't know that when we came to Nairobi, we started with a master's degree first. That was a result of the teaching we'd been doing when people came to us from all over the world. They were already adults and they were leaders in their churches. And so we just continued with them. Then it grew and it grew. And then the board, the Afro-Asian board that we started, said, there are people who want to come and study with you, but they can't do a master's degree because they don't have bachelors. So you need to start a bachelor's degree. And we had not thought of that because we were working with leaders. And we said, well, if we start undergraduate, they'll be young. They might be 18, and it won't be the same. And so we were not too excited about that. But they said, no, you must do that because there are not enough people who are qualified.
Shine FM is a radio station at Daystar University. It's based here in Athi River campus. And it's a place where students get to apply their practical skills in radio presenting and also some quality like experience in their future careers as media staff. Shine FM, I've met personally a presenter that is now currently working at QFM. He's called Celia Mutabi. And also a guy who was also learning, fortunately, with him in our high school. He's called Mwangangi, Peter Mwangangi.
say this in all my interviews. If you're a communication student doing either print, advertising, PR, electronic media, make sure you either are in involvement or Shine FM. Why am I saying so is because when you go for these interviews, you actually never know that these guys are listening. My boss at BBC knows about Shine FM, knows about Invo. Half of the staff have worked at Shine FM. And they will tell you in their interviews, they consider that if you're from Daystar, you must have undergone through that. Standard Group, the same thing. Royal Media, the same. Nation Media, I was asked by the way.
Say the School of Communication in Athi River or Daystar at large offers so much hands-on experience. While at Daystar, I got to know so much about radio because of Shine FM. I was involved in Shine FM as the news manager in 2011 and part of 2012. And through that, I got so much hands-on experience. Also through writing articles in involvement. So I'll just say that Daystar equips its students very well, especially through the many facilities that they have. And it depends with the student. Sometimes you can be offered the food, but you cannot just open your mouth. So a student who is willing to accept the opportunities that Daystar offers, that is just what a communication student needs.
Okay, this is from around the campus and also outside the campus, because we don't normally do based on stories in the campus. We also go outside to search for stories, features that can at least suit our environment and our surrounding. There is Nelson Mkala, he was a former managing editor, now works for the Nairobian. And then there's Oliver Madengo, so he was also a scribe, works for the Star. And just basically, not only do guys from here go to print houses, they also go to maybe PR firms. I have Mr. Patrick Omune, he's working at Africa Practice. So guys have excelled who have been here, they managed to excel.
When you think of the Department of Communication, it's been a pace setter. It was a first program that was offered. We can call it the flagship of Daystar University. And I think we have achieved a lot. When you think about the market, and especially in the media, we have a lot of our alumni out there. And not just out there, but outstanding, doing good work. One of the things I enjoy in the evening is just to sit down with my remote, keep flipping channels, and now see, yeah, that one is ours, that one is ours. And of course, there are many more who will be behind the scenes, doing the work.
Student of communication, for example, if I'm going out to be a reporter, what this liberal background ought to have helped me understand is how the constituencies that I deal with, because in communication you're going to be having the source and the receivers. These are God's creation. So if I'm dealing with them, this background should have helped me to be able to understand that in dealing with these individuals, because they are created in God's image, therefore this is how I must approach it. So we have one, the Christian component, we have two, the broad range component, and then now we come into the skills in the specific field, but also the skills, the general content in the specific field, and then the skills in the specific field. Our challenge is moving from accessing the spectrum to generating sufficient content to run the station, because the new rules, Communications Amendment Act 209 and now 2013 do require that if you are running a radio station, a TV station, you must provide content 24/7. If for any period of time you are not on air, then the license will be withdrawn. What we need to satisfy ourselves on is that we are able to generate sufficient content that can be able to be on air. Is a challenge for training institutions, and I think we need to navigate how to be able to work on that. So what we need is actually a production studio that will generate this content, and we already have a transmitter that is able to transmit this to whatever content trader that we are going to be dealing with to go to transport that content. Because broadcasting is splitting into three. Content generation, content distribution, and then broadcasting. And so that's where we are headed.
Tell us why you decided to come to Daystar
you're not in other institutions?
Okay, I think there are a couple of selfish reasons. Selfish reasons, I work near Daystar. Daystar is easily accessible. Secondly, my family came here. I told you my mom and my sister are both here, so it's become like a family university. Thirdly, I think the name of Daystar, even before the adverts started running, was always out there. You guys always knew that if you want to do media, if you want to do journalism, you're in the right place. The alumni of Daystar are beyond counting because there are so many. They are everywhere. And the quality of lecturers, I really remember my experience with Dr. Lando, very, very refreshing.
And creating understanding became the real foundation of Daystar.
With the numerous stars produced by Daystar University's Communication Department and more ambitious plans and stars in the pipeline, the future looks bright for Daystar University's flagship course.